Now, diplomacy is an interesting topic. Now, diplomacy. Now, diplomacy is an interesting topic. In fact, I think that is why you are even doing this program. These are the course in the department because you are interested in becoming diplomats and ambassadors and so on and so forth. You are not interested in becoming bricklayers and organizers and barbers and fashion designers. It's well, very crucial. This topic is very crucial to your stay in the department. Now, without diplomacy, states would have been in perpetual conflict. Those have been interested in fighting one another. Well, they said diplomacy has to do with peace, how to resolve differences, make states smile at one another. So, what is this diplomacy? In fact, as usual, it's one of the most important tools in the hands of a state. Without diplomacy, it will have been very, very difficult, extremely difficult for states to get along. I said that diplomacy is an important tool in the hands of the state. As usual, it's like your pen, like your phone that you use to achieve an objective. Now, if there is no diplomacy, it will be difficult, extremely difficult, for states to get along with one another. Once there is crisis, you try to use diplomacy to resolve that crisis. Once you want to borrow money from another state, you use the same diplomacy to borrow money from that state. Please, can I continue? But that does not answer that question. What exactly is diplomacy? Why is it that at the end of every war, people always resort back to diplomacy to end their conflict? Why is it that when war is going on, they always keep shouting, going back to that thing called diplomacy to bring their conflict to an end? It shows that that thing called diplomacy is very, very important, very, very significant. So, quick one. Let's start. What is diplomacy? Quick definition. Now, according to Satow said, and it's Satow, S-A-T-O-W. Now, he said, diplomacy is the application of tact, T-A-C-T. Diplomacy is the application of tact and intelligence into the conduct of relations among states. The application of tact and intelligence into the conduct of relations among states. So that means the diplomacy is not for the bricklayers, it's not for the organizers. The application of tact and intelligence into the conduct of relations among states within the international political system. Now, when they say you are tactful, when they say you are tactful, now listen, when they say you are tactful, I'm fond of saying this. It's in form of a question, actually. Now, how do you tell a lecturer that he has mouth odor? Yes, exactly. When he's lecturing, without him getting offended and without other students knowing, how do you do that thing? You do it wrongly, you won't graduate forever. How do you do that thing? If you buy a lecturer, wouldn't they know that it's because of his mouth? I said tact and intelligence. How do you do that? You see, that question might sound funny, but then that is what diplomats do. They deal with life and death of states. Give the wrong answer, they might invade you. Give the right answer, they might not actually invade you. Tact and intelligence. There's a difference between sorry and sorry. Yoruba will tell you that there's a difference between sorry and sorry. And there's a difference between I'm sorry if you feel I've offended you. Or like I'm fond of saying again, I said there's a way a girl will tell a guy no, asking her out, and she will receive beating. And there's a way the same girl will say no, and the guy will be proud of that no, and tell the friend that yes, correct, babe, she said no. I said application of tact and intelligence. So diplomats don't just talk. No, they are careful, extremely careful with their words and how they say it. That's why when they say you are tactful, I don't know, there's a Yoruba saying, when a child is stealing, they said, and they won't say that your child is a thief. There's a way they say that thing, but you actually get the message. as it is. That was why they said it's application of tact and intelligence. Intelligence in response. Now, I said it's the application of tact and intelligence. When you are tactful, it's not that you are not going to call the person an armed robber, but you know how you call that person an armed robber without the person knowing that you're actually calling that person an armed robber. You know, remember what I enjoy doing to most of you guys? I love to insult you, but in a nice way, and you smile, and they are deep insult. For example, I keep telling you guys that poverty is not good, and most of you are poor, and so on and so forth, but you smile like that thing. I did not say you are going to be poor forever in your destiny, but I know you are poor now. There are two different things entirely. But then I know you make it later in life, but not now because you're still poor now, technically, as it is. Exactly, as tactful. That was why they said it involves intelligence. Because, like I said, it deals with the issues of life and death. You give the wrong answer, it might be destroyed, as it states. And you give the right answer again, come. Every year you keep hearing Nigeria will be borrowing money. We'll be borrowing money. Nigeria is in debt. We've been borrowing money. Now, it is not the borrowing thing that's shocking. It's the fact that they're still borrowing Nigeria money. I mean, they said Buhari borrowed Nigeria out of existence. China, we owe China so much that we cannot even, your generation cannot even pay the money you are owing China. And yet tomorrow, you still hear China borrowing Nigeria money. And that's a question of tact and intelligence. Guys are wonderful. A guy that has no house, the trousers he's wearing, borrowed from a friend. The shirt he borrowed from a friend. Even the shoe he borrowed from, he has not even eaten. And he comes to you, a girl, and says, look me in the eye. I'll take you to Dubai. I think that's what you call the art of toasting. Toasting is saying things that don't exist and trying to convince somebody that that thing actually exists. I'll take you to chicken. You've not eaten, you are taking the girl to Chicken Republic. So, tact and intelligence, ability to be able to lie convincingly. In fact, that is why you're a diplomat. Diplomats are the world's best liars. That is your important qualification. You are not lying because you felt like lying. You are lying for a purpose. And that is exactly what lying does. The lying you are lying personally is different from the one you are lying for the state. All diplomats are unbelievable liars. But then they are not just lying because they felt like lying. They are lying for the objective of that state. Oh, sorry, remember that guy they call Robin Hood? What do they call him? Good thief. A thief is a thief. But then there's now, they are now different. He's a good thief. Because he's stealing from the rich to give to the poor. So that's why you're now thinking, when you grow up, you like to become a thief, a good thief. Can I continue? Yes, River defined diplomacy. River Jordan, River Benue, River Niger. It defined diplomacy as the art and science. The art and science of negotiation. The art and science of negotiation. The art and science of negotiation and promoting relations among states within the international political system. The art and science of negotiation in promoting friendly relations among states within the international political system. Art and science of negotiation. It's an art and it's a science. It requires skill of negotiation in promoting friendly relations among states within the international political system. Again, you see that word, friendly relation. And that was why I said it's a tool. It's a tool for normalizing relationship between states. It's a tool for removing antagonism in relationship between states within the international political system. Please, can I continue? Now, there are two machineries to diplomacy. There are two machineries to diplomacy. Now, the first one is internal, and the second one is external. There are two machineries when you are talking about diplomacy. The first one is internal, and the second one is external. Internal, in every country, they have what they call Ministry of Foreign Affairs. In America, they call it Department of State. In Britain, they call it Foreign Office. So there are two tools, internal and external. Every country in the world, they have those two tools. Now, in Nigeria, we call it Ministry of External Affairs or Foreign Affairs. That's internal. In Britain, they call their own Foreign Office. Of course, in America, they call it Department of State. So each of all these things I've mentioned is headed by a foreign minister. They have a foreign minister. In America, they call it Secretary of State. In Nigeria, we call it Minister of Foreign Affairs. That is internal. I said there are two. You have internal and you have external. Now, external are what you now call the foreign missions, or that stuff you call embassies, the place you go to when you want to japa. So the foreign one is what you call embassies. The foreign one is what you call, so you have internal and you have external. The embassies, that's the foreign one, embassy of Nigeria, outside that, they are the eyes and ears of Nigeria in those foreign countries. I said you have two. You have internal and external. Internal, all states in the world, they have that internal called Ministry of Foreign Affairs. But they have different names. For it. Nigeria, we call it Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Then Britain, like I said, they call it Foreign Office. Then America, of course, now they call it the Department of State. So all these guys, all these institutions are headed by powerful individuals. Is that individual that coordinates all the other embassies outside. So Nigeria, we call it the Minister of Foreign Tuga, Ambassador Tuga. That's the man's name. So I said we have internal and you have external. So internal, like I said, is the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Externals are now the foreign embassies. Sometimes they call them missions. That is the one that your state sends to other states. And that's where you get all those words, ambassadors, 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 ambassadors. Embassies, or what you also call foreign missions. Now, quickly, functions of diplomacy. Function of diplomacy. Now, functions of diplomacy. What are the functions of diplomacy? What exactly does it do? Remember, I said diplomacy is a tool. So if it's a tool, that means it serves a function. 1, protection. 2, promotion of friendly relation. 3, representation. 4, negotiation. Protection, negotiation, promotion of friendly relation, representation, and information. 5 major functions of diplomacy. Over the years, that is what diplomacy has actually been doing. Protection, representation, promotion of friendly relation, information, then I think negotiation. Making 5. Can I continue? That those are crucial functions of diplomacy. Out of them, I consider one to be one of the most important. You might disagree with me. You have 5 functions, but out of them, like I said, I consider one to be one of the most important. But then we'll get to that one later. So let's start with the first one: representation. That is the one reason why everybody wants to become a diplomat. Representation. The representative function of the diplomat is the easiest and the juiciest. That's why everybody wants to become an ambassador and so on and so forth. You know why? Any country you've been posted to as Nigeria's representative, you are accorded, you are given the same respect you would have given to the president. You are like the president of Nigeria in that country. Any social event in that country, you are invited over. Any naming ceremony, birthdays, and the rest of them that concerns the president and their extended family, or some, you are invited over. You are the face and the ears and the leg and the hands of Nigeria. Exactly. You are given that thing they call the red carpet. Why would they even call it red carpet? Why not white? Why is it always red? Red is bad, it's blood now. So why are they always calling it red carpet? It's okay. Now, any function in that, for example, even if you are posted here for the republic, you are assumed to be the president of Nigeria in that country. They refer to you as your excellency. And whenever you are coming to that, they will announce you as if you are the president of Nigeria. So whatever you do over there matters. It can redound on Nigeria. And like I said, that's the easiest from. Once you are an ambassador of Nigeria to any country, you're not paid in naira, you're paid in dollars. It's the same money the others collect in the Georgia and the rest. That's what you collect here. So that you are posted to Benin, don't think you are poor. I mean, it's not there. It's poverty. But then don't think you are a big person. You are posted to Togo and the rest of them. No, you are Nigeria. Tinubu is the president. He cannot be everywhere at the same time. So you are his representative in that country. And that is why I said the representative function is the juiciest, is the sweetest of those 4. It's like me telling your class rep, come and lecture in this class. You give him the same respect that you would have given me. I doubt it. But then that's what you do to him. Because it's standing based on my authority. Can I continue? Two, protection. Protection. It is the business, is the business of your ambassador in that foreign country to protect your interest. Now, listen, oh, it's the business of your ambassador in that foreign country to protect your interest as a foreigner in America. When they are accused wrongly of any offense, something that you did not do, it is the business of your ambassador to protect you. You have the right to go to your embassy for protection. When you don't have transport fare in America, you have the right to go there for them to give you transport fare. I remember there was a time when some Chinese citizens got stranded in Australia. Their government paid for their transportation back home. Importantly, when there is war in a foreign country, it is the business of an ambassador to make sure you are evacuated. You are alive now. When that war started in Sudan, now there was conflict in Sudan, and Nigerians were stranded in Sudan. So the responsibility now became that of the ambassador to ensure that they were given safe passage. Okay, if you are not aware of that of Sudan, you know that of Ukraine. Yeah, when the war started in 2022, no, Nigerians were stranded in that country. So they appealed to the Nigerian community, to the presidency. President had to instruct the ambassador to ensure that they had enough money to come back to Nigeria. Even during Babangida's regime back then, in Abacha, when there was war in Sierra Leone and Liberia, it was the same now. Nigeria provided ships to bring Nigerians, Nigerian government, working with the ambassador, provided ships to transport Nigerians home and the rest of the something. It is the same when you run out of transportation fee when you are going home. Go to the office of your lecturers, not the HOD. They are the ambassadors of the department. Can I continue? Three, information. Wow, I love today. I'm going to finish early. Information. Now, I consider information to be the most significant of all functions of diplomacy. That is the most significant. Information is key, even to your existence, to your life. That thing they call information. It is the business of the ambassador or diplomat in that foreign country to provide necessary information about events in that country to his home state. As it is the business of that ambassador to provide necessary information about whatever it is that is going on in that country to his own state. Why? It will make it easier for his own state to have good policy, sound policy, knowledgeable foreign policy towards that other state. Information is key. See, the ambassador there is the eyes and the ear and the brain of his country in that foreign country. Let me give you a good example. During Obasanjo's regime, American president just sent a file to Obasanjo now and said if care is not taken, Nigeria will collapse by 2015. Now, this is the thing. The man did not come to Nigeria. He did not know about the problem of the Hausas and the Yorubas and the rest of them. But he was able to give us that file, to give them that information that, look, this country will collapse in 2015 if care is not actually taken. Now, how did he get that information about what is going on in Nigeria? That is the diplomat, the ambassadors. When you drop at the airport till now, as a foreigner, as an American, there's one paper they will give you now, no go area in Lagos. Okoko, Adangbadi, Shibiri, Ajegunle. Now, the point is, how did they know about that area? You are just dropping for the first time. You are a white person. How did they now give you that paper? These are the no-go areas in Lagos, as it is. That is information. Information is key. Towards your exams now, I'm sure you'll be stressing your class rep to ask lecturers for areas of concentration. That's information now. To narrow down your reading. What are you going to read to prepare for that exam? I would advise you not to take areas of concentration. That thing actually kills initiative. All those you read just for 3. What if they now change that question? They didn't give you the 3 they give you now. It's better you read widely because your lectures are cumulative. What you've been taught now, you are going to use in 200 level. So if you now miss that thing, there is no way you catch up in your 200 level. That is why I'm always against all these areas of concentration nonsense that lecturers give. But my point is, information is key. If you are coming to school this morning and they already told you had already been told that there's traffic on that bridge, In other words, you try to make look for an alternative arrangement in getting to school. That is information. In fact, Google Map, I think that's what we now use when you want to go anywhere in Lagos. Now you check for location. For those of you who are so, like I said, information is key. In fact, it is the getting of information that gave diplomats a bad reputation. You know, see, most diplomats, and this is true, most diplomats in that foreign country, most of them are spies. Spy, espionage. Yeah, that is your primary responsibility to ferret out, to get information. Yeah, during the Cold War, you had a lot, even until present now, they are still having a lot of that. I think this year they've jailed with one or two Americans already for selling American information to the Chinese. And the Chinese too, of course, they've killed people for selling their information to the American. Then, of course, now Russia, number one, has killed more Russians because they're selling information to Ukraine. Ukrainians too have killed Russian diplomats too because information is simply spying. Spying is looking for the strengths and weaknesses of your adversary. And that is what makes you to be a good diplomat. And again, I said, diplomats are liars. So your job is to lie beautifully, convincing. Forget about the tie and the suit and the no. If it is the lying that will get the job done, you lie. You are not lying just for your own destiny. You are lying for the defense of your state. And that was why I told you at the beginning when I met you guys that there is no morality. What matters is getting the job done. It's just that simple. If it is the lie that will make Elijah fall in love, just look into my eye, Elijah, I can do it for anything. But that is exactly what diplomats do. How can Nigeria be borrowing money and they are borrowing Nigeria money? They will be the one to write again that in the next week, Nigeria cannot pay off the debt, and yet Nigeria will still go again, and you will still give Nigeria money. It's unbelievable. People that die from all this, the food sellers, you've not paid 1 week, and you still tell them, don't worry, that money is coming, sell rice. Oh yeah, put meat, that one. And you've not paid for the one. And this one will believe and still give you the same food. And when you are there tomorrow again, she will remind you that you've not paid for but I will eat it big. Don't worry. Put that meat, put that rice, put that. It's still the same information. Information is actually that priceless and powerful. Even to your existence. If you are doing exams tomorrow and you've seen the question today, you relax. They can be doing all this reading, going to library and doing all those stuff. But you've seen what will come out, so you are targeted. You know where you are going to. And that is the power of information. I think the simplest thing to kill in the world is that thing called ulcer. But they've made $1 billion industry out of ulcer, tackling ulcer. You know, Yorubas, they scare you with everything that they have. Imagine what they call us, and Ogbe, even that name is scary, Ogbe, and you have a cut within. And they will now start analysis that thing cannot heal because your inside is always watery and it needs here. So they now say it's a cross you have to carry forever till you are dead and so on and so forth. But then it was later information now that we found out that thing was caused by bacterial infection. And if it is by bacterial infection, simply means that means you have to kill the bacteria, then you'll be okay. And that's the power of information. But you go to hospital and say, no, you have to take tagament and different kind of something. And they'll tell you, sorry, there is something you have to live with forever. Or the one I'm fond of saying now, that thing they call kata. How do you get kata? So someone will say it, or that other one they call Apollo. I don't know if you guys met Apollo. Apollo, they said, don't look at people. When you look into their eye, then yeah. Now that is the power of information. And that was why I said information is key. And it directs you. When you came in on that level, oh, okay. You're saying on the level. Information is key. 4. Negotiation. Actually, that is the only thing people know about diplomacy. That is what they emphasize. Negotiation. And when you hear negotiation, what you think of all the time is they are trying to resolve conflict. No, it's not just conflict. It's not if people are killing themselves that you use diplomacy. No. Sometimes you use that diplomacy to buy things at cheaper rates from other countries. For example, Nigeria supplies electricity to Benin, to Togo, to Ghana. I don't know if you are aware. And we will give them electricity now. It is the business of the diplomat to negotiate. What is the rate you pay? What is the rate I'll pay? And getting that thing from them. Most of the onions we eat, they come out from outside Nigeria. Most of the onions we eat, they come from outside Nigeria. I think maybe from Niger or thereabout. Negotiation is what will give Nigeria the best price for that thing. Why I'm saying this is you don't just have to think it just has to do with just killing. That is when they negotiate. No, no, you always get the best for your country in any interaction. This is the definition of the international relation. You get the best for your country in every interaction. So you get the best for your country in any interaction at all. Even when Nigerians were going to play ball outside Nigeria, the ambassadors are always at work to get their visa, to do all those things, that they get their best rate hotels and the rest of the sum. So when you hear negotiation, just think it's when they start killing or shooting themselves. No, that is just one aspect. Though one can say is one of the most important aspect of the work of a diplomat. Please, any question? Have a nice day.